The old guy seems like he's going to be alright. Thank God.
Oh, really? That's good.
Right? Anyway, I'm heading over to LabCorp now. I already called them and let them know the gist of what happened. So they had some warning I was going to be late due to extenuating circumstances. But even so, I thought I'd go over there personally to apologize again and set up another meeting.
Don't bother. I think you've done enough.
What do you mean?
I mean, get back here immediately and pack up all of your stuff.
You're not saying...
Of course I am. Obviously, you're fired.
But why?
Because we don't need people here who can't even keep their appointments with clients. You're not fit to call yourself a business person.
Hold on a second, Frank. Sure, I missed the meeting, but there were extenuating circumstances beyond my control. And I called them as soon as I could to let them know. I mean, the old guy had a heart attack right in front of their building, for God's sake. What was I going to do? Leave him there? Of course I had to call an ambulance. I was the only one who saw what happened, so I had to answer some questions. There was honestly nothing else to be done.
Yeah, I heard all of this already. And do you remember what it was that I told you?
Be reasonable.
How many times did I tell you, Michelson? Do you remember?
Yes.
Yes, what?
I remember.
Well, what did I say?
You said to leave the old man where he was, and to head to the meeting straight away.
That's right. But what did you do instead? You ignored my direct order. That's what you did. And now you've cost the company money. All for some old fart with one foot in the grave that nobody knows from Adam.
I couldn't just leave him there. I'm a human being, you know. There was no one else around to take care of him. Who knows what would have happened if I had just left him? He could have died.
And so what if he did? You'd still have a job, wouldn't you? Maybe your job is what you should have been concerned about. You were an employee at this company. And while you are working at this company, our profits ought to be your number one priority. That and obeying the orders of your boss, aka me. You had no right to disobey me and jeopardize our profits to help some old geezer. It's a mistake you won't make again. You're not qualified to call yourself a business person, much less an employee of mine. So like I said, you're fired. Don't let me see your face around here again.
Wow, you're like some kind of wannabe dictator. Now, first of all, I don't think you even have the authority to fire me.
Don't be stupid. Of course I can. While you were hanging out at the hospital giving that old fart mouth to mouth, I was in the office chatting with Kevin, the regional manager. You know what I told him? That you blew off your meeting. I told him you made a deal with another company and were sabotaging us on your way out.
What the? That's a pile of absolute... There's not an ounce of truth to that.
Well, that's not what Kevin heard. We're pretty busy over here these days up in management, so Kevin is a bit on edge as it is.
I can't believe this.
And don't think that you can waltz in here with an apology or explanation and smooth things over. The fact of the matter is that you missed your meeting with the client. I've already called LabCorp and offered them my sincerest apologies for your behavior.
Why would you do that? I already called them and explained the situation to them in full.
Well, I had to tell them about how sorry we were that you lied to them earlier. I explained to them about how you are a pathological liar and it's been giving us quite a headache for some time. Even over the phone, I could practically see the looks of shock and disgust on their faces.
I don't understand. Why are you doing this to me, Frank?
Simple. Because you rub me the wrong way. You've only been here, what, 3 years now? And yet you're constantly talking back to me. Don't tell me you thought you were winning any brownie points.
It's not that I'm trying to talk back to you or anything like that. I just thought you'd want to know when a contract you're planning to present to a client has some conditions that aren't in their best interest. All I was trying to do was let you know.
This is exactly what I'm talking about, Michelson. Good Lord. Who do you think you are, anyway? Some kind of hero? You're a pain in my neck is what you are. There's no money in keeping the contracts 100% pristine. I told you, we're here to make a profit.
That's not right. Alan himself told me personally that he appreciated my devotion to the client's interests. That's the whole reason he put me in charge of a client as important as LabCorp in the first place.
And that's the worst part about you. How dare you think you can take LabCorp? I'm supposed to be in charge of all the major clients. Now you're stealing money right out of my pocket.
Because your plan was too big, Frank. You were going to push them away.
They're a huge company with a budget to match. I guarantee you they're not worried about that. We have to take them for all they're worth.
That's not how this works. They're our business partners.
You shut your mouth. God, even after being fired, you're still yapping away about this stuff. It's got nothing to do with you anymore, Michelson. Get it through your thick skull. Huh.
I don't know when, but this is going to catch up with you someday, Frank. Mark my words.
Oh, I'm shaking in my boots over here. You're all bark and no bite, Michelson. Now go yap at someone else for a change. I want to thank you again for all of your help earlier, Ms. Michelson. Thank you for giving me your contact information. I really hope you didn't mind my asking. Anyway, I thought you might like to know that my father has woken up.
I told you. Please call me Colleen. It was no problem at all. That's great news about your father. I'm so happy to hear it. Is he able to speak?
He says that he wants to express his gratitude in person. I don't suppose there's any way I could bother you into coming back to the hospital.
It's no problem, but please tell him that there's no thanks necessary. I just did what anyone else would have done in that situation.
I understand that you might consider it natural. But I think there are a lot of people in this world who wouldn't actually do what you did when push came to shove. According to Dad, there were other people there who walked right past him before you came, you know.
Is that so?
At any rate, he's very resolute in wanting to thank you personally. Would you mind coming and visiting him? I'm very sorry to put you through any trouble. If it was possible, we'd like to come to you. But it looks like he'll be in the hospital for a while. But because of that, any time that suits you is fine. I'm sure you're quite busy. Weekend, evening, he's not going anywhere.
No, it's no problem. I can come visit any time.
Oh, is that right?
It seems I found myself with quite a bit of free time on my hands.
I see. I hope it isn't because of us.
No, it's my own stuff. Anyway, it looks like I'll be a bit busy tomorrow taking care of a few things. How does the day after sound? Friday morning?
Thank you, Colleen. I know it will mean the world to my father. And if you didn't come, I would never hear the end of it. Once again, you're a lifesaver. Literally.
Well, I'll send you a message when I get to the hospital then.
Sorry to bother you, but...
Hi, Martin. No bother. How can I help you?
Well, I just happened to hear something this morning. Is it true that you were fired yesterday?
Oh, wow. You caught me off guard there. Where did you hear that?
Sorry, I don't mean to intrude. I just...
No, it's fine. If you know, you know. Can't put the genie back in the bottle. To be honest, I did get fired. But it's not you or your father's fault at all, of course. So please don't waste even a second worrying about that.
But we heard that you missed an important meeting because you were helping my dad. And you were fired for not making it to the meeting. Isn't that right?
Listen, Martin. Even if my manager had been standing there with me and told me directly to walk past your father or else I would be fired, I wouldn't have done a single thing differently. If anyone is at fault here, it's the company that would fire someone for just doing their civic duty and helping a fellow human. I don't have a single shred of regret leaving a company like that. And I'll find another job. Rest assured.
You really are something, Colleen.
You're going to make me blush.
Really? Anyway, we're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Me too.
Oh, and another thing. I don't suppose you could bring a copy of your resume with you.
You want a copy of my resume? Are you hiring or something?
If you don't mind, I'd prefer to explain tomorrow. See you then. Hey, if it isn't Mad Dog Michelson. Fired for sticking her nose where it doesn't belong. Anyway, thanks to you getting the axe, it looks like I've finally been put in charge of the LabCorp account. Couldn't have done it without you, Michelson.
Ah, well, good for you.
Well, I'll be. Look at you, all meek and mild-mannered. Here I was expecting your normal yipping and yapping.
I just realized there was no point in saying anything to you.
There she is! Ha!
Yeah. Woof woof.
Having fun, are you?
Anyway, what do you want? Don't tell me you're just messaging me to brag about stealing my account.
What other reason could I possibly have to talk to you? Certainly not your looks.
Well, it seems like the new account's not keeping you too busy.
Don't get me wrong, I am plenty busy. Your limp, soggy fart of a plan needs a total overhaul before we're ready to sign. This is a big fish. There's big money involved. And I don't want just a little nibble. I want the whole thing.
Well, good luck with that.
I don't need your luck, loser. I met the guy in charge on their side a long while back. Just once, but I remember him. Real spacey. No common sense whatsoever. AKA a complete sucker. Is that so? I'm a bit embarrassed to hear that our representative, Mr. Reynolds, gave such a poor impression. Huh? Your company? What are you babbling about? But your previous account manager, Colleen, was so trustworthy. We didn't really have to worry about her trying to take advantage of us or anything like that. So we thought we would be alright having an open and trusting guy like Reynolds on the account. We would have all been happier if things could have remained as they were, to be honest. But now that we'll be dealing with you instead, it seems we'll need to get someone a little more cutthroat to represent us. What the hell is this? Who are you? Good morning. This is Martin Long speaking, Executive Vice President of Label Corporation Limited. Get out of here, Michelson. The VP of LabCorp. I have to say, the way you spoke to Colleen really got under my skin. I couldn't help but take the phone and deal with you directly. Why would Michelson be with the VP of LabCorp? Because I wanted to give her my personal thanks for helping out my father the other day, after he had a heart attack in front of our building. Your father? That's right. The old fart with one foot in the grave, as you so charmingly put it. You mean to tell me that old guy that Michelson helped out the other day? That was the president of LabCorp? That would be correct. Michelson! Why didn't you tell me that from the beginning? What is wrong with you? Because she didn't know. My father has not been very healthy recently. In fact, it's not often that he shows his face around this office anymore. By the way, it was you who ordered Colleen to just leave him on the ground and get to the meeting. Isn't that right? Hold on a second. If I had known that was the president, of course I would have never given any such order. Of course not. I believe you. But, by your own admission then, if the person in need was not the president of the company, then it's fine. That's not what I'm saying. I'm afraid that's what it looks like. I've looked at your previous messages with Colleen, and actually, I've come to the conclusion that we absolutely can't do business with a person who would say things like that. So we've had some discussions about the future of our business with your company on our end. I'm afraid we've decided we won't be signing any contracts with you. Now, wait just a minute. Let me explain. You haven't even seen the new plan yet. At least give me a chance to pitch it to you. That won't be necessary. I don't need to see it to know that your contract is just going to be a vehicle to try and take advantage of us and recommend some expensive, extraneous things that we don't need. Isn't that right? Of course not. This plan was written with nothing but your company's needs in mind. Of course it's important to think about the future. We have several key investment opportunities that you simply can't afford to overlook. I'm afraid we don't have any money to spare on your nonsense. I'm pretty sure we asked your company for a bare-bones plan when we first contacted you about this. That's true, but you've got to hear me out. No, that's enough. And of course, there's also the matter of your conduct toward Colleen. I've already taken the liberty of contacting your president directly. Alan? Surely he set up a meeting with you already. Please, just hold on a second here. You're saying that you're angry I fired Ms. Michelson, right? It's fine. It's not too late. She's back on the job. She's back on the account. As if nothing ever happened. In fact, let's just chalk this entire situation up as just a little misunderstanding. So please, let's all just calm down and not do anything rash. I'm afraid that doesn't work for us either. Why the heck not? Because Colleen works for us now. Really?
It's Colleen again.
What is going on here, Michelson?
Well, it's like Martin explained to you, Frank. I'm working at LabCorp now. I think LabCorp has a lot of opportunities for me to grow my skills and apply my knowledge to our mutual benefit. For a start, it seems I'll be taking over this account from Kurt. You know, the guy you called Spacey.
Wait, you're in charge of the account now?
Isn't it just a perfect fit for my experience?
You're not wrong. Business between our companies will be smooth as butter from now on.
Oh, you think so?
I've taught you everything you know, haven't I? Working together will be smooth sailing. So from now on, you just tell me whatever it is that LabCorp needs, and then we can think up a perfect plan together. It's a win-win for everyone. Am I right or am I right?
Did you read what Martin wrote a few minutes ago? There's not going to be a contract.
Why the heck not? I've raised you into an astute and capable business person, haven't I? Don't you think you owe me?
The only thing you've taught me is that there are some really awful people in this world. That's it. Please give up any hopes of getting a contract out of us.
Hold on a second, Michelson. Do you know what's going to happen to me in that case?
I imagine you'll have to take some responsibility for your actions, won't you? Possibly even fired, if there's any justice in the world.
Don't even joke about that. Come on, Michelson. Think about this again. I'll apologize, all right? I was wrong. I admit it. I apologize. I'll get on my knees and apologize. I'll kiss your feet.
Gross, don't threaten to kiss me. You think sexual harassment is how you get a contract? You're not fit to call yourself a business person. After that, Frank was called into a meeting with the regional manager and the company president. Having heard the truth from Martin, the president was furious. Learning that Frank had lied to his face about me, the regional manager was also furious. The results of the situation were clear. Because of Frank's intentional lie, the company had lost a huge client. After such a massive blunder, Frank only really had two options: resign or be fired. It seems he chose to resign with a little dignity. Apparently, Frank was never really what you would call a top-class employee from the very beginning. As such, and considering he left the company in disgrace, it seems he had his work cut out for him in finding a new job. On the other hand, I'm doing great at LabCorp. The new job also came with a pretty hefty raise. I'm bustling away at my new job, perfectly content. My new boss is incredibly capable and reliable. And even more importantly, she has zero tolerance for doing anything unethical. In short, she is my kind of person. I never would have thought that so much in my life would change just for helping an old man who was suffering a heart attack. I guess this is what they mean when they say that helping others also helps you. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe for more. See you next time.